Welcome to Listing Mania. We're very excited about this. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz Beneskac. I am the team leader down in New City at 694. And I'm going to ask all of our panelists to introduce themselves real quick, what market center you're in, how long you've been in the business, and what percentage of your business is listings versus buyers. So, Miss Beth, since you're at the top of my screen anyway, you get to go first, honey.
I am at the top. So my name is Beth Alfeld. I am the managing broker of our Kingston office, 1143. I have been in the business for 18 years, and probably 60% listings, maybe 65 this year.
Great, great. Okay, Donna.
It's Donna Reese. I've been in the business for 19 years, Market Center 909. I've been going back and forth with part-time, full-time, so I just came back as full-time. So I have more buyers probably right now than listings, working on my listings. And I'm also helping out as transaction coordinator as well for Rock Hill.
Oh, great. Okay, so that'll be an interesting part of this conversation as well. Dulce, my love, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Tell everyone who you are, because everybody knows you, but just in case.
I'm Dulce Ferreira. I'm with Market Center 909. I've been in the business for 20 years. I am the broker of this market center, and I have ownership in the company as well.
So she's the boss.
No, I'm not. I don't want that title.
Okay, and then what percentage is listings to buyers, honey?
I'm actually about 50-50.
50-50.
50% of my business is listings and 50% is buyers.
Okay, great. And Amanda, last but not least.
Yes. Okay. So I am with the Keller Williams Hudson Valley United Market Center 909, and I've been in the business for a little over 3 years. So I'm just starting my 4th year with Keller Williams, and I've been with you guys this whole time. And yay! And I'm not going anywhere else because I love you guys. And 30% of my business, as at this moment, for this year has been listings. So hoping to increase that for 2021.
Right, great. All right. And just so everybody, while I'm moderating, I'm also going to chime in because I, up until I was taking listings last month. So I've been in the business 5 years myself. And prior to coming out of production, I was 50-50 as well with listings to buyers. So, all right, let's jump right in. So what we're talking about today is, where are we getting these listings from? What part of this, where do they come from in how do we market to get them? All right. So, we'll go around and just real quick, Beth, where did most of your listings come from?
So the easy and short answer is referrals, because I've been in the business for so long, and I know a lot of people. So my husband's been born and raised in this town where I live. I'm up in Greene County, actually, even though my office is in Kingston. So I started out, I was lucky. My husband knows a lot of people, and people put their trust in me. And, I'm now selling second homes. I have 3 homes this year that I listed that I sold only last year because the market is so good and people, so it's repeat business for me.
That's really nice. So I just want to ask you a question about that. So how do you maintain that relationship? Because I remember Jason Abrams saying something at family reunion that was so brilliant and something that we just take for granted, right? So we're in this business and you sell somebody a house or you list their house, right? And then time goes by and they meet new people. And they've got a whole life going on. They could have a baby, they could, get married, they could have a death in the family and then a new job, and their circle continues to grow. And then they go and they sell their house and it's listed with somebody else. And we as realtors have the audacity to be like, you didn't use me? And you didn't even send these people a Christmas card in 7 years? Like, what are you thinking? So, it's right. So the fact that you have this repeat business, suppose either that you were just so magical that they, you know, kept, you know, in touch with you or want the loyalty to you, or you did something actively to maintain that relationship. So are you magical or did you do the work? Where does it fall?
I want to say possibly a little of both because
Okay.
because of where I live, honestly, and people know me. But I've had that happen. It's like I sold them a house and then I see it come on the market. I'm like, what?
How dare they?
No, it's terrible, and it's a terrible feeling. And then you start thinking, what did I do wrong, or what didn't I do? And it could be as simple as not keeping in touch. And
Right.
so since I'm with Keller Williams, which is not that long, one of the things that that they teach you is to stay in touch and keep in touch with your clients. And so I think that really has helped me, you know, especially as of late, because it's one thing to do a good job, but if you're not top of mind and they meet their friend in the grocery store who just got their license, that's who they're listing with.
Right.
So
there's a relationship there.
Absolutely. The other thing that I really do is I focus on my community a lot. So when I post on Facebook, I don't just post, I sold this is my new listing. I post, you know, I was down at, you know, Heartland on the Hudson. I had a great coffee there. So I embody the community and I try to make it a part of my business. So,
okay. So, all right. So I'm going to come back to this point, but I want everybody to answer that very same question. So Donna, what do you do to stay in mind with the folks that you have done business with?
I was doing campaigns because I was with Keller years ago and I just came back. So I love the program and everything.
Welcome home, honey.
Thank you. That is what I love it. But basically the campaigns, I do Christmas cards and a lot is past clients that I've worked with.
So that's where you get your business from, is mostly repeat?
Mostly all my business. I would say 90% of it.
All right.
So I've, you know, stayed in contact with most of them. They always call me back and just try to stay in contact as much as possible. And now, of course, that I'm doing it more and want to make it just full time. Of course, I'm, you know, with this is great. The whole program. I love it.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of smart plans, right? Because it does for us. Because I mean, if I were to rely on my own memory, there's just oatmeal up here and hair dye. So, you know,
does everyone on the call know what a smart plan is? Is everybody with?
We'll get to that.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Dulce.
Okay, so I'm going to say 85% of my business is referral business. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years already. I always stay in touch with my clients. Like, for example, yesterday I had a closing a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday I sat with the guy on the phone and I helped him fill out the application for the star.
Right.
Okay. So they remember things like that. When you go out of your way and you do those little things, they remember you.
Absolutely.
I send calendars every year. Okay. And I have clients that when they don't get the calendars, they call me and say, what happened to my calendar?
Where's my calendar?
Because they're used to having my calendar in their refrigerator. I have a large percentage of Spanish speaking clients. Okay, so that's kind of my niche. So they come to me for everything. They get a piece of mail, they don't understand it. They call me, can you translate? Can you help me with this? And I never say no.
Right.
And they always remember me. So they give me all the referrals, family, friends, anybody that they know, they turn them over to me.
Right. And you know what, Dulce, that's brilliant. And the reason why is this: when you go from just being someone in a transaction, this is not transactional. Everything that you do creates a relationship and you become a valued resource. There's
they think of me as family. I get invited to the christenings, to the weddings, to, you know, to everything. You know, sometimes I it's too much. You know, I got to work too.
Yeah, but no, it's true. It's a good feeling. The other thing that's really wonderful about that is that you become the connector. There's this
the source of the source.
That's right. There's this great book. It's called The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. If you haven't read it, everybody needs to get it. It's a great book. And in that book, they talk about the person that is the connector. right?
Mhm.
The one person, who do you know that has I need a contractor, I need a plumber, I need a photographer, I need a landscaper, I need a translator, whatever it is, you want to be that to your people so that you are top of mind.
I am very blessed. I have a great network. When they need a contractor, like you said, a plumber or an electrician, and I tell them, I have no interest in what these people are doing for you,
Very
as if
important.
they know they have to do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they won't get any business from me.
Right.
So
And
if I have,
that's the
I have,
incentive.
yeah, and so they're just happy that I referred people to them, and they know that they have to do the right thing.
Right. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. Miss Amanda, talk to me.
Okay.
Where's it coming from? Your listings.
So I have like a tie for my top three, agent to agent referral, sphere of influence referral, and then past client referral.
Mm-hmm.
Being so new in the business, the past client referral has just started becoming
Yeah, it's going to
a
take some
moving
time.
train.
Right.
Yeah. But to, feed off of what these guys are saying, the relationship building piece of what we do is so important. And I'm not above, cold calling and doing the Facebook targeted marketing and door knocking and all of those things. Yet when you get that referral from somebody that you've done a really good job by, it's
Oh, it feels so
cost
good, doesn't it?
effective. It feels so good. And like Dulce said, they become your family. So
Right.
I get them on Facebook. If I'm driving past their house, I'll send them a text message. I cover a huge area.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I photobomb their house as I'm driving by. How's the family? I was just thinking of you. Now, systematically, it would be great to have this in a program where I was reminded and not forgetting people and not letting people slip through the cracks, because as you build a big business, your database
Right.
becomes to the point
Huge.
where you can't, remember.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
before we get to that, I want to ask you a question, because this is not, you gave an answer that nobody else did. So I want to dive into this a little bit. The agent to agent referrals.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay, so like Dulce has got a niche in being Spanish speaking, I also have found a niche in getting Pennsylvania licensed because we're so close to the border.
Right.
We border Pennsylvania, we border New Jersey, we border Connecticut. And so there's some agents within our market center that only cover Sullivan County, and they don't go without, out of that area. There are some agents in Pennsylvania now pulling people from New York to Pennsylvania. And so early on, as a new agent, I reached out to a lot of different people, and I just started making connections with these agents, for one, to learn, because that's who better to learn from than the people that have been in the business for 20 years.
Right, exactly.
And then to build the relationship. And so now they see this new agent that's out there and aggressive and hungry. And as soon as they have something that they think that they can give to me, they do. And I always, do very well by their clients and keep in touch with them. And I have probably a key 5 agents and that are referring business to me and me to them.
Right.
And imagine if I built upon that, how successful we could be. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm reading a comment that Diana Kadan had said. Is there a broker out in our market center where I can hang a PA? Like, I have a big network in Philly where I grew up. So, so you have your Pennsylvania license?
I do. Hudson Valley United. We're Pennsylvania.
And we have our broker's license in Pennsylvania. Okay. So Diana, we got it covered. So after the call, reach out to me and we'll take care of that. Okay. So look, one of the things that networking is critical, right? And you just identified it in 2 ways, from Dulce and from Amanda. On Kelly, you go through, you can put out referral requests, to say, I need to, or I have business for people in this area, what have you. If you have a section of the country that you have people that are going to be moving to, start making those connections through the network, so that this way you will be a referral partner to them. One of the agents in our office, Matt Warbet, he does a tremendous amount of networking, and it was phenomenal for him during COVID, because people that don't want to come up here, throwing referrals out, because he has a big base in Manhattan, and in Queens, so in Brooklyn too, for that matter. So, you know, it's something that you really want to think about in an area of business that shouldn't be ignored at all. So let's go back to smart plans for a moment. So I know Beth had said, does everybody know what smart plans are? So we're going to pretend you don't. And Beth, you want to take this a little bit, or do you want me to handle it? What's the smart?
You can handle it because I have an admin, so.
You have an admin that does it for you. So, all right, the quick and dirty on smart plans is that it's a way for you through command to set up a system. Okay. And you can use your own, or you can go out and you can find other smart plans through command that people have done. So for example, client that's a seller. Okay. Really great way to do that would be to mark their anniversary date for when you sold their house. At their anniversary date, do a CMA. Send them, this is what your house is worth today. Hopefully it went up in value, because otherwise they're going to be all twisted. But, you know, send them that. A card on their wedding anniversary, their birthday anniversary, the check-ins or whatever. And these are things that will come up in your tasks automatically associated with them. Some of them can be an email that can be sent automatically. Some of them are something, a tickler that you have to do. But listen, we're all so busy, between, running our businesses, doing the day-to-day that we have here. These smart plans will make your lives a lot easier, and they've got them step by step. So if you need help with those, Ilene, who has muted herself, is the queen of smart plans, and she will be able to, give you tips if you need them. If not, there's tons of tutorials. Ilene, can you unmute yourself for a second? What's the name
Sure.
of that 66-day challenge guy?
Marty Miller. He's excellent. I'll post the link in here. You can either catch him on Facebook or on YouTube. And what I like about him the best is they're short and sweet. He goes right to the point and he covers what you need. Reach out to me if you need any, resources, and I'm very welcome to help you. I also did a class last week that's in the YouTube channel for our office.
Right, on smart plans?
Yes.
Okay, is there any, I'm sure that I did the super high level, this is sort of what it is kind of thing, because I'm really good like that. Is there anything specific that somebody needs to, what's the first thing they need to know when they're thinking about smart plans?
The first thing they need to do actually is connect their command email, and if they're going to be using text, if they want to use text, connect their Twilio. Those would be the first two things that they'd need to do before they even get started.
Right. And then once that's done and you roll out the smart plan, you can have all of these things. And not everything is going to be done automatically for you, but there are things that can, happen and work for you. So that
or at least it'll give you a reminder. So on
Right.
your dashboard, it'll say, your task for today would be to call Liz, or send her a text.
My
So
birthday
you
is
can
August
follow up
25th,
with the
just so everyone
attorney or
knows.
follow up with the mortgage lender. You can space stuff out for yourself.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you, love. All right. So in terms of social media, I'm going to switch gears for a second. Amanda, we'll start with you this time.
Okay.
What are you doing on social media for your listings?
Okay, so I'm using a combination of the platform through command to boost out the posts and, gauging the return on that, because that's pretty new to me. And then I'm also using just a straight up business page to either advertise or boost out.
Okay.
And something I've been doing as of lately is making sure that all of the new people that I've met over this last year or so have the invitation for my business page. I share a lot to my personal page, and I make sure to put a call to action on the things that I'm boosting out through Facebook, so that there's a reason for them, to click on the link.
Okay, great. And what are you doing any ads through command at all?
Yeah, I'm running the Facebook ads. It's probably like 1 out of every 3 ads I run is through the command platform. And I'm doing pretty well. I mean, my ad spend per lead is probably $1.60, something like that.
And have you closed on any of them?
No, I have not converted any yet. So that's the thing. I've probably gotten 70 leads so far off of the various campaigns that I've run. I've made some contacts that I've been able to put into my database, and I'll be able to follow up through the year. People that, said that they're buying or selling next year,
Right.
or in 3 years they retire or whatever. There's also scripts that we could probably come up with to use to help push them, to list.
So there are a ton of them.
Yeah, to list sooner and to build the value. So there's been some stuff, but I think it's going to be a snowball effect with
Right.
that. The more you do it, the better qualified
Right.
you get.
Listen, remember something. Anytime you're doing any kind of social media advertising, it's a long arc and it's a numbers game. Some of them are immediate. Once in a while you'll grab somebody and it's a beautiful thing and you're off to the races. But a lot of times this is about building your database, and you're bored, you're clicking around, you see something, you put your name in. But if you are top of mind, like Dulce said, and you get in there and people see you and you're offering value and you're offering content. I saw this social media, like one of these, motivational ditties or whatever. And it said, the goal is not to be successful. The goal is to be valuable, because when you offer value, success will follow you. And it's really true, right? Because if we can become a resource for people. So Amanda,
Yes.
taking a page of what you do, I'm going to jump up to what Beth said here in the sense of, you're in the community, right? And you're out and you're, at the cafe, or you're at the car show, or whatever. People see you all over the place, tying it into the community. So,
and humanize yourself, because we're not just robots and transactions machines. Like, we've got families and we've got hobbies, and that's something that I need to be more conscious of, because I'm like, I'll work 8 days a week if they let me. And then I don't stop to smell the roses, but people want to see me doing that stuff as well.
Yeah, no, and it's important. It's really important. I get more traction on my Facebook page when I post silly stuff, or just like I was up in Lake George this past weekend at the Sagamore. I got more comments on the fact that it was 70 degrees and I was walking around in flip-flops in the Sagamore. And then, I might have gotten on something else, but it shows a side of you, and, people get a window into who you are, and it's attractive in that way.
Amanda, there's a question for you. Oh, there's a question for Amanda.
Yes.
Diana wants to know, when you boost, where do you have the leads go? I was asked where to send the leads.
So when I'm boosting out, where am I targeting?
I think that's what I guess, where do you have them? Like, when they click on the link, where are you sending the people?
I'm sending them to my website, and there's the
landing page. So that's the landing page.
Yes.
And that's another class you can take with me as well.
Yes. And one other thing I just wanted to say about Facebook real quick, twice this year, I've gotten agent-to-agent referrals based off my Facebook, people coming from the city, because I boost out to the city, because I know we're pulling people from there up here, and they see my advertisement, and then they have somebody, that needs to move up here, or, is moving there or whatever. So twice this year, I've gotten appointments just from another agent seeing my stuff on Facebook.
Great. That's fantastic.
Then Diana's asking, not Messenger. You direct them to your webpage.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Diana, the thing is this, it's really important to make sure that you're capturing them in a way that you can always, when somebody likes your webpage, you could do both, right? I suppose. It's a matter of so.
Let me let Diana talk. Actually, it might be easier. Hang on,
Mm-hmm.
Diana, I'm going to let you talk. Give me 1 second. I just got to find you. Here you are. All right, Diana, unmute yourself and you'll be able to speak.
Okay, I did my first boost yesterday, and it was asking me where should I send the leads, and I picked Messenger because I didn't know. I was like trying to figure it out. So I was just testing it out.
Did you boost it through Facebook, or did you boost it through Command?
I boost it through Facebook. I do a big Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, but I'm doing everything myself right now. I was actually in the middle of watching the Marty Miller campaign things when the class started.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you finish that and start boosting it through Command, because the whole point of this is for you to capture their data So
Mhm.
you can add them to your database. And if you do it through command, it'll go right in there.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Actually, I'm having a class today at 12 o'clock conveniently just on this, how to do Facebook campaigns in command. So catch me at 12.
I think I have something at 12. I think I
Oh,
signed
I'm
up for
recording it
another
as well.
class.
Recorded.
You're not going to miss it. Don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So it'll be
I mean,
recorded.
I like to do it along with Marty Miller at the same time. I can pause and do it at the same time. It's great.
Well, same thing with Ilene. That's the only way I got my website up when I had to do it, because Ilene told us, I stopped and I did it and I went back and forth. So
Actually, my big secret is I watch Marty and a few other people and put together my class. So you're good if you watch Marty as well.
Listen, why reinvent the wheel if we don't have to, right? It's all about just packaging the data the way it needs to be done. All right. So thank you so much, Diana. That was a great question. I'm sure people got a lot out of that. So Dulce, are you, because you've got this whole great network, right? Do you use social media at all?
I have an assistant, and my assistant takes care of all of that. But I believe that, you know, in giving business cards out every day, you know, everybody should be giving out at least 10 business cards. And what I do is I give out 20. When I give you a business card, I give you one for you and one for a friend. So I give out 2 business cards. Now, I personally love this time of the year because this ties in with Thanksgiving.
Right.
And it's about gratitude. So this is a time where I really reach out to people just to say thank you. Okay. And they love that. And they remember you when you call them up just to show gratitude. You know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The minute you do that, they can't do enough for you. They can't send enough business to you. You know?
Remember, what do they say? Nobody will, at the end of your life, the only thing people will remember about you is the way you made them feel. So,
that's correct.
You know, very important that we do all that. Donna, what about you, sweetie? What's going on with your social media stuff?
I just started with the Facebook ads and stuff like that, and I'm doing pretty good, and I'm just starting it up for someone else too, who has a lot of listings, and he's thrilled with it because he was spending a fortune on Zillow. So I have to target a different area, but I'm going to do that for him, like the city he wants to target down there, and see what kind of leads he gets. But so far it's pretty good. I haven't turned any over yet, but I did get one phone call back. Most of them are, you know, emails and stuff like that. But one gentleman did call me, and I'm still trying to reach back out to him because I had to call him back, and he didn't pick up. So I haven't given up though.
Well, they don't. But I want to point something out to everybody, and that is that this is a numbers game, right? So the more data and the more leads that you can capture, that you get into your database, and they go into that funnel, right? The bigger the top of the funnel, what comes out at the end. So we're putting in, this is why, Diana, you want to send it through command so you get good data in and everything when it comes out the end. So you want to make sure that you're tracking these numbers, because it's exhausting sometimes when we think about the amount that we have to put out there to get to the end result. And that one listing, how many leads had to go in till you get that one listing? Well, once you find out that, okay, it was 26 or 32 or 48, whatever the numbers are, it's okay, because now you know what the secret sauce is. How many no's do you have to get to that yes? So whether it's from a cold calling perspective, or it's, you know, from a social media perspective, or, you know, whatever you're doing, which, by the way, you're not allowed to cold call yet. Don't do that when you go to real estate jail. But, you know, this is all a numbers game, right? And if you talk to, you know, our panel here, speak to Brian Kaplicki or Linda Fernandez, you know, or Erin up in Kingston, like it's all about the numbers. You can't get hung up on it. Don't get emotionally attached to this. You just got to keep putting it in there, because the more you put in, the more it's going to come out the other way. So the other thing that I want to remind me again, which of Beth and Dulce, you both have assistants, right?
I didn't hear that.
Assistants?
Yes.
Yes. So I think this is one of the things that we tend to underestimate as salespeople that are in a very consultative role, because we're not just selling a piece of cheese, right? This is not, you know, it's a very, very specific, Anna's calling me, go away. It's a very specific product that we have, and we're consultative, and it takes a lot for us to take care of our clients. We can never underestimate the importance of taking the things off of our plate that we don't do well, or might do them well, but they may take away from our generating business, right? So from a, you know, our focus today is that we're in Listing Mania for listings. So Beth, I'll ask you first. With listings and all of these things, what are the things that you outsource to an assistant or what have you?
So I just started using, I had an assistant before that was mediocre, and I just started using the concierge that we have at Keller Williams. So everything, I go in and fill the form out, and I put in the information, and they start the whole listing for me. You know, I had to tell them I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I had to tell them where I go to get my stuff. You know what I mean? They, you know, they pull from, and they're great. They're willing to work with me. So that anything that I can do for paperwork wise, and this is something that again I learned from Keller and from Gary. Paperwork wise, I suck at paperwork. I hate paperwork. I can't type. I had a client literally pull me out of a chair. I was typing a contract. He said, "I can't watch you do this." He typed his own contract. But yeah. And it's worse when somebody's watching me. It's like, but so anything that I can hire somebody to do for $15, $20, or $25 an hour, and I can be out doing what I do, which is doing the consultation, showing the property, doing the things that I do. That's it's all about leverage. It is, and it's a mindset that had to switch for me. Like it's like, well, what am I going to do? Pay somebody else? Well, yes, I'm going to pay somebody else because I suck at it, and B, you know, there are people that's what they do, that and they love to do.
Right. And listen, I wasn't trying to plug the concierge program, but since you've led us down this road, thank you very much, love. You know, one of the things is that command sometimes can be challenging, right? Because they're constantly changing and updating it. And once you learn something, it can shift, and it's always for the better. And then when you figure out why it's doing what it's doing, you know, whatever. I hate the word labs, like they make me crazy. But I think that the beauty behind our concierge program is that you don't have to deal with the learning curve. Everybody should know how to do it if God forbid they're down and you can't get to them, and you know there's stuff that has to be done, but they're taking that heavy lifting off of your plate. Now, Dulce, you have a personal assistant?
I do.
Okay.
It was the best thing. It was the best thing I did, and I had her do the KPA, and the minute I looked at the KPA, I said, "You're hired," because she was the perfect fit. January, she's going to be with me 2 years. So obviously it's working.
That's
and
great.
She takes care of all the social media. She takes care of me being in compliance with all my documents. You know, I still do a lot of things myself, but she takes a lot of my plate because I'm all about customer service. And the one thing that I'm going to mention, and Beth can relate to this, is pick up your phone. Okay, if you don't pick up your phone, you're going to miss out on business. Okay, I go nuts with my phone is ringing now. I have it on mute, but I know when I get off this call, I have to answer every one of those calls because most likely one of those is either a buyer or a seller.
Right.
So, and people are not answering their phones today. I know there's a lot of ways of communicating, but I think personal touch is very important, and answering the phone is very important.
It is. You know, to piggyback on that point, it's really important too, though, to ask people how they like to communicate.
Right.
I'm a phone person.
I do that too.
Yeah. So I will send text messages, but I find them to be very impersonal. But you know, I'm over 50, so Amanda, probably if I need her, I gotta text her.
Yeah, I do a lot more texting.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, when I sit with a seller, I also tell them, let me explain to you how I work. Okay.
Right.
Because when I have like 30 listings right now, I can't spend every day talking to everybody. Otherwise I don't get anything done. So I tell them, I'm going to call you when there's information available. Now, do you want me to call you? Do you want me to text you? Or do you want me to send you an email?
Right.
And then I follow up with them once a week. And I have clients that tell me, don't call me unless you have an offer.
Right. And then you have
So-
clients that want to hear from you 24/7. And it's like, sometimes it's very difficult. Listen, utilizing the technology that we have at our disposal is really, really important and helpful and will save you time and headaches. Set your clients up, if they are technologically savvy, for your sellers on showing time, and let them get the feedback that
I
comes.
do that.
Not all the agents, fill it out. We got to chase people sometimes. But if feedback comes, you do not want to be sheltering your clients from that information, because if they're having smells like dead animal, they need to know about it, right? Or there could be good, there could be bad, but you've got to know what you're dealing with here. So it's important to make sure that you get that information out to them.
Listen, I train my sellers to either accept or decline their own appointments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
you
that's
have to.
the beauty
By your
of
house.
that program.
Right.
I just make sure that I get the forms that I need and the pre-approval, and I let the seller say yes or no.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Donna, how do you manage at this point all of the admin stuff? Do you have a time set in the day to handle all of that for your listings, or what do you do?
Well, right now, I only have 2 people that signed up in Rock Hill. We're working on that, trying to get more people. And the one person needs it very badly. So, I do reach out to him when I can, when he's available, but he's been pretty good now that he's back and understands what I can do for him. Even though, we sent out many emails and stuff. I think once they get the understanding of it, it'll work. For them.
Because you're actually doing transaction coordination in addition to your listings and stuff like that.
Right.
Right. Okay. Great. That's good to know. And Amanda, how are you handling it, honey?
I've kind of set myself up. It's like with a time block schedule. I say kind of because it doesn't always work out like that. I try to take 2 designated days a week that I'm doing my marketing and that I'm doing my follow-ups with my listings and my buyers, and sending out all of my emails, depending on where we are. And then I created myself a spreadsheet that I am now translating into what we have in Command. I'm using Command a lot more for the pipeline tool, because if you are inputting all of your stuff, your leads, your active deals, all that stuff into the pipeline tool, it's such a nice visual. You have all the notes right there, so you know when you're following up, what you're following up about, and that's a lot easier, paperwork and compliance wise. So
yeah. Look, just a quick, and I know you hear this all the time, right? When we go to our MREA book and what have you, as you grow your business and you're utilizing this, you want to make sure that you're growing your business in a way that is controllable. So for right now, if you do not have the finances or the revenue, to support a full-time admin, utilize the concierge services for a transaction coordination and listing management. Really, really, really important, because you have to think about something. Every moment that you spend on paperwork is a moment that you're not prospecting for new business. And if you want to make sure that you're growing your listings, right? Because it's a huge, listings is a beautiful thing. If you are a 70-80% listing agent, you're sitting on a boat somewhere, or I don't know, at a bar, or with your grandchildren, or, hanging out with family and friends, and someone else is selling your property. Well, gee, isn't it nice for other people to do your work? So it's a beautiful thing, right? So utilize that, because think about it. The way that it works, it's you as a single agent, then it's you with one admin support. That one admin support can be our transaction coordinator and our listing management. And then client texting me, seller, who do I use for fence repair? No lie, just got the text. And then, so you've got all this, and then you're bringing on, so it's you one admin support, then a transaction coordinator, then your buyer's agent, so that you can branch out. But don't do this alone. If you want to build your business, you have to make sure that you're doing it. What do we say? You want to work smarter, right? There's nothing worse than reinventing the wheel and not having it go the way that you want. So at this point, I think, yes, that was the music from Downton Abbey that was on my phone. Somebody asked me. Okay. So do we have any questions, Ilene, that we can, that we should be asking here? Answering rather?
Hang on. Yes, you do. Let's see. Diana would like to know, does anybody here use TikTok? That's like the new upcoming thing coming up.
No.
I'm guessing Amanda uses it, no?
I don't know. No, I'm like the cutoff. I'm 33, so I'm on like the kind of the cutoff for TikTok.
I thought you were younger. I thought you were late 20s. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Everybody's younger than me. It's terrible. Okay.
I'm not, I don't think. I think I'm older than you.
Not by much. Okay. So what else? What else do we
Any
have?
other questions from people? Oh, there's a question in the Q&A. Has anyone received listings from mailing to FSBOs? That was from Shakia.
Know that I have gotten some FSBOs back in the day when I was doing this. But mailings is not the way to go. It's really more phone calls. And, you have to be very careful about door knocking where we are. Some areas don't allow it, but just getting on the phone and engaging people in conversation. And Shakia, I'm going to give you, he's probably going to want to beat me because I keep pimping him out. But Matt Warbet has had a lot of great success with that in our office. And Michael Cantor actually does a lot of FSBO calls as well, too. So listen, we work in a company where we come from contribution, right? And we all help each other out. So these guys are doing this. Oh, there he is, Matt Warbet. How are you, darling?
Hello.
So you want to answer that question, babe?
Tell me, what was the exact question?
FSBOs. Do you ever get anything from mailings, or is it that you? I say no, you call them, and
I've done more calling in the past when I was allowed to. So I've been looking into, I'm in the process of setting up a system.
Okay.
That's going to involve mailings, packages, kind of a whole rigmarole, perhaps.
Right.
And, we'll see. I mean, it's a crazy market here. I mean, listen, a lot of FSBOs right now, they can sell on their own. So it's about, well, what could we potentially help them with to maybe earn the business anyway, or find some other opportunities through them. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things is every FSBO, well, they're selling their house, but they're also a buyer.
Right.
So let's not forget that.
Yeah. I actually wound up getting a buyer that way from a FSBO. Beth, you were going to say something?
The broker in me wants to say this. We are not allowed to call FSBOs right now unless you have a specific buyer for them. So
no. This is not for this moment in time. This is just the general FSBO.
I just don't know who's on here and who does or doesn't know that. So that's the broker in me, and that's the end.
Yeah.
Robin also said she had experience. I don't know, Robin, if you'd like to say something as well.
Yes. I have a letter that specifically directs to a neighborhood if I have a buyer looking for it. And I've been able to get FSBOs, but it's a good buyer's letter. In other words, I have a buyer, I have a couple, I introduce them to that FSBO and ask them about their home and for them to call me to get back to me because I have somebody specifically.
Right. Well, it's a wonderful, wonderful tactic and tool, and it really can be very effective. You can't use it now.
You can use a letter. Yes, you can.
You can use a letter?
If you have a buyer, yes, you can. Unless I'm incorrect, Beth, you can. If you have a specific buyer, I have a specific buyer right now that I'm canvassing a neighborhood for because they want to be there.
All right, hold on, Robin, let Beth answer this.
Yes, if you have a specific buyer,
I do.
Yeah. That's the kid. That's
so for a specific buyer, you're allowed to send a letter.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
I'm very I stay in compliance. Okay.
Yeah, I'm very non-compliant, Robin, so
Yeah, so that I stay in compliance. I don't want anybody coming after me, okay?
Okay,
Another
great.
question we have from Hazel, which I'll have Beth back me up. But the question is, when you get leads from command, are you allowed to call them, or is that considered cold calling at this time? Yes, you may call them, because when they click through, they
Yeah, they're
are
giving permission.
approving. Yeah, and is
They've
that correct?
contacted you. They've contacted you.
Yeah, you can't, right. So you're allowed to reach out to somebody who is approved, you reaching out to them.
Can I stand outside of Fizbo's house until they come outside and engage with me first?
Okay, I have a story. So many people know, Matt, can you open your screen so we can look at your face, please?
I don't have
You don't
the
have
ability for that.
You're a
And
liar. Anyway, so Matt and I used to partner on a lot of deals, and we had this one listing that we got that already shared a wall. And so I'm sitting at my desk. It's a Tuesday morning, whatever. All of a sudden he's banging on my wall. Lizzie, put your coat on. We're going out. I'm like, what? He's like, we got a listing appointment. So we run out of the office with our butts on fire, and we're in the car, and I'm like, all right, what is this? Where are we going? And he goes, well, she told me she had an appointment with a New York City agent, and I don't want her to sign with them. So I said, does this woman know that we're coming to her house? And he said, no. I wanted to kill him as we're driving over there. But
he was very hesitant to
Yeah.
talk about him.
so then we're standing, actually, Matt was standing at the front door. This should have been an indication, Matt, that this was going to go awry. And a bird dive bombed Matt, like literally almost took his head off as he's knocking on the door. I thought that was great because it didn't happen to me. Anyway, we got the listing, and she was an interesting character. And
No, but you wait, Liz. No, you forgot the best part. She came to, and we knocked on, rang the doorbell. She came to the door, and she's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Hey, this is Matt. We talked like 20 minutes ago." And she said, "She goes, she goes, yeah, but I have someone. I'm not interested." And I said, "Yeah, but we're here right now." And she said, "All right, come in."
Yeah, we got the listing. I guess that's the moral of the story. Did we want the listing? I don't know, but it took
Closed eventually.
Just closed eventually. So we did it, but it was an interesting situation.
So I just
There's another Beth question.
Yeah.
So Hazel wants to just make sure, so she can't send a general letter to a specific area without having someone interested in that area at this time.
No, you
Right.
can send general letters. You can
Oh, you
send
can.
letters. Yes, you can send letters.
You can actually, okay, so you can actually farm a neighborhood. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it's
You-
the
if
phone
you
call.
if you do it,
Oh, it's phone calls. Okay.
okay, you can farm. You
Actually,
can send
phone calls and
information.
text count as the same thing, just so you know, so no texting them either.
Yeah. But you can send letters, you can send mailings, you can send them information, you can send them, what has sold in their area, because you want to mail them things that are going to be of value to them.
Mhm.
So they keep you in mind when it's time for them to list or to possibly refer you to someone else.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I just want to say one other thing about FSBOs. Something that I learned again once I joined KW is to come from contribution. So if I see somebody, and this was when we could contact them, I would call and say, I just want to preview your house. I know what's on the market in my neighborhood, and I just want to check this. And I go over and then I ask them about, do you have the proper forms? Are you in touch with an attorney? I can leave these for you. So you come from contribution, and I've gotten listings that way, just from coming from contribution. Like,
That's right.
you want to make sure you're safe when you're doing these things. And are you
Right.
checking for people? Are you letting anybody into your house? These are things that I would do. So it's about with FSBOs coming from contribution, not why aren't you listed with an agent, you moron, which is what I really want to say. But
Yeah. Avoid the moron.
okay, I'll try.
Avoid the moron speak. But no, it's a really, because you know what, as somebody said here, there is a buyer on the other side of that. And whether it's a buy that's going to be in your same neighborhood, or if they're moving to, Timbuktu, gee, we have agents in Timbuktu, we'll get you somebody, not a problem. All right, Minnie, you had raised your hand. What did you unmute yourself, honey?
Good. I'm good.
What's going on?
I'm good. You answered all my questions. Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you had something. All right, Robin, did you have something else you wanted to ask?
Yes, and for FSBOs right now, one of the most powerful thing that you can send out is the Fair Housing Disclosure Form, because everybody needs one. So if you send out the notice to them with a letter, hi, your house is on the market, notice it. Are you aware of the fair housing laws? Just send out the notice. You know, that's going to start a conversation.
Right. That's a
Okay.
great tip. I like that one. I like that one. All right. So we're nearing the end of our hour. Are there any other questions at all that anybody has? All right. So closing thoughts. We're going to start with Donna. What is the one thing that if you were to give advice to somebody that's getting into the business that needs to get listings, what's the one thing that you would, tell them they must do?
Learn command, because it's a tool that's going to be very valuable. Take
Okay.
as many classes as you can, self-paced or not.
She's pimping you out, Ilene. So very good.
No,
All right.
that's how I learned. I came back and I saw everything and I said, I want to utilize everything here. And little
Yeah.
by little, I'm getting there.
I'm so glad you came back, Donna.
And if you
Oh, I
need
am
help, just reach out to me and I'll point you in the right direction and get you started.
Yeah.
I
Very
call
good.
Ilene now for training. She goes, why are you on this call? You don't need me.
You already took this class 3 times. Why are you here?
She's thorough. She's very thorough.
Because I missed
Very
one
good.
thing.
There you go. Amanda, honey, what's the one piece of information that you think somebody must know?
You never know where your next source of business is going to come from. So if you start with an attitude of coming from contribution to begin with, and then also making sure that in every way possible, you let everybody that you know that's around you know what you're doing and how you plan on helping them, I think is important. So just make sure that you know that you never know. Don't neglect the $100,000 lead just because you wish for a $500,000 lead, because that $100,000 lead could have a grandma that has a $500,000 house to sell.
Or $1 million house, right?
Right. You just don't know. And so if you keep a clean heart when it comes to it, and know your numbers and just go after it in that way, you will be successful.
Brilliant advice. Dulce, what would you say, love?
What I do tell a lot of people.
You're muted, honey.
Thank you. So for new agents, I don't know how many new agents are on this call, but one of the first advice that I give is the minute you become licensed, make sure that your neighbors know that you're the source of real estate. Do a mailing, let them know that you're in real estate, that you're licensed. Let them know that the values in the neighborhood are very important to you, and that you can help them. You can be of service to them.
That's great advice. I never even thought of that. That's wonderful. See, this is why they pay you the big bucks. Look at that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and Beth, what do you think, honey?
So mine is super elementary, but it's something that I didn't do probably my first 10 years of business is keep your database. That's
right.
That's where your stuff is coming from. So it's so elementary, like we all pass it by. But for
Mhm.
somebody that was in the business for 12 years before, I had one. I mean, I had it. It was in no order, and I think I had 1,000 contacts when I finally got my act together, and I don't know what the numbers are, Liz, maybe you do, of what that converts to when you stay in contact with your database. That's
right. There is a formula. I remember because I have like 3,000 people in my database, and we did. I forget the name of I think it was Denny.
Yeah.
What was his name? Ilene, the bold coach, Denny
Grimes.
Benny Grimes.
Grimes, that's it. And he said to me, it was something like for every 100 people in your database, you should be getting like 3 or 4 pieces of business. And I had left like, $750,000 on the table. And I thought, oh my gosh, I could have what could you do with that? So it's really, you're right. It's working that database and making sure, because it's gold. That is your gold. So, and I guess the one thing that I would say to everyone is to make sure that you using your time wisely. If there is, making, doing your marketing, getting everything out there, the moment that you can have somebody help you to do the paperwork or to do, like, if you're really good at social media marketing and that's where you get the zhuzh and, you're doing it, great, go for it. If not, outsource the things that you don't do well so that you can put your efforts to the things that are definitely going to, bear fruit. Right. So,
And then Muriel had a question, last
Oh,
one, I
sure.
guess. What script would you write on a mailer? She's thinking of doing it now to include happy holidays. I'm wondering what to write. So I guess she's asking, what should she send out? I guess on a postcard.
like, can Meryl, honey, can you talk?
Yeah, I'll allow her to speak.
Yeah.
One sec. Okay, just unmute yourself, Muriel, and you could speak.
Hi,
Hi, Meryl. How are you?
great. This was really, really awesome. Thank you all.
Oh, I'm so glad you got something out of it. We're pretty blessed to have these awesome people in our company, and everyone's always willing to share. So in terms of, what you're writing, I would send a holiday message and
Right.
possibly,
No, because I didn't farm my neighborhood and I didn't tell my neighbors or anyone. And I'm living on my block. There are probably 200 families on my 2-3 blocks around me.
Amanda, go.
Okay, so bold, if anybody is not taking, is it too late to sign up? Like if you're not taking bold, can they still
No,
sign up?
There's only one more.
Really
Oh,
taking-
okay, okay. So if you didn't take bold this time, definitely take it next time, because within bold, they give us the material for all of these really good scripts and ideas. And then they give us a bold Facebook group where we've got agents from all over the country sharing every single different way they're reaching out to their neighborhood. And if you put your cell phone in the message box here, I will text you a script that I have for you, just for your neighborhood. And it's really nice because of COVID this year. We want to come from contribution and just let people know that we're around them and that we don't we don't only do real estate, but we're also there if they need a cup of sugar or a stick of butter. And it's a really simple script like that. And yeah, so okay, I'll send it to you, and I can even share it on our OP page, right? So that everybody can see it.
That would be great. That would be great. Listen, remember something. In the beginning of the pandemic, what did we all do? We all just did care calls. How you doing? How is your family doing? Is there anything that you need? What can I do for you? How do I be a resource to you? That's still an important part of our business, right? Just because, we're moving blessedly, hopefully through and eventually out of this pandemic, we still need to do that because people still, need to know that we're thinking of them and be okay. So, but I think that was really good advice, Amanda. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Brian, it's gonna be on the OP updates page as well. So we'll put it up there. So this way.
I also have a list of those who registered for the class. So Amanda, if I send it to you, or if you send it to me, I could email it out to everybody who registered.
That would be perfect. That's
Yeah, so send it to me and I'll do that. Okay.
Very good. All right, very good. All right, so that's it. It's 12. Oh, Dulce, final word.
One thing, I have a session today at 6 p.m. from 6 to 7:30 to continue on this conversation of listings.
Okay. Where is that is it on Zoom, honey?
It's on Zoom, yeah.
And is it
Zoom
on?
link is on the calendar.
Yeah.
Is it on? Okay, so if you want to hang out with Dulce, go to the calendar on the HV
Group, hvgroup.com.
Yeah, KWHV group, right? Okay.
kwhvgroup.com.
All right, very good. Everybody, if I don't speak to all of you or beforehand, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
We're setting ourselves up for Q1. So come on, let's get those listings. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye, everyone.